younger me, where do I start? If I could tell you everything that I have learned so far, then you could be one step ahead of all the painful memories still running through my head. I wonder how much different things would be, dear younger me. Dear younger me, I cannot decide. Do I give some speech about how to get the most out of your life? Or do I go deep and try to change the choices that you'll make? 'Cause they're the choices that made me. And even though I love this crazy life, sometimes I wish it was a smoother ride, dear younger me. Dear younger me.
Hello, this is Andrew Hill. I am a freshman at the University of Mississippi, and today I'm interviewing Mrs. Martina Brinson. Hello.
Hi, I'm Martina. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it is nice to be here. So, Martina, today we're talking about identity and how the different experiences that humans can have impact that. Such as, I have a different identity than you because I have different experiences. To start off, Martina, you are, I'm not going to ask your age because my mother told me that. That's very rude to do. You are a bit older than I am. Growing up in a different time, how has that made things? Like, how has that changed your world perspective as opposed to someone younger?
So, I mean, in this case, I think it really doesn't even matter that I'm from a different country. It's just growing up in a different time. It's, that time has different things to offer. And with technology, especially moving fast forward, just the fact, like, I didn't have iPhone. I didn't even have a cell phone, when I was 18 or your age, basically. Just think about how that would impact your life, not having the things, Honestly, like, to me, the time makes a difference regardless of where you grow up, because things do change for people. I do believe the biggest difference for me would be the technology, the way we communicated with each other. I do see a huge difference in growing up. We would be outside a lot, and you would definitely have more of the face-to-face contact with people. I do see a difference in that area where you did have to have the actual contact with people more. And even I am just more looking at the phone rather than making contacts with people. It's just easier. We just go for easier. Same with fast food. And I grew up just, my mom was cooking always. There was no McDonald's or, just that option. Easier is not always, to me, better, for sure. But that's what we learned to do, easier, which is sad. So I think that would be kind of the biggest difference, technology and easier, faster options as far as food and everything.
Absolutely. So you are also a mother of 4.
Yes. Bless my heart. That's what the Southerns would say.
Yes. How has becoming a mother impacted your life? Like, how has it changed you?
Okay.
Challenged you and other things like
sure.
that?
Definitely made me appreciate my mother and what my mother did for me. You don't know until you have kids.
Love you, Mom.
Seriously, I think that's what most people come to, that conclusion, hopefully, is if you really go through having kids, dealing with kids, you never know what it is to have your own child and love them like more than yourself. And it's funny because really it just happens the moment you hold a baby, it's just there. So that's kind of basically, yes. So I would say becoming a mother had one of the biggest impacts on my life. That is something you have to become a mother or father to really know what that's like, and everything just changes in a split second. You just know you see that little person and it's just part of you and it's unexplainable. I never thought I would do all the things that I've been doing to take care of my kids. You know, as you grow up, you definitely get to a point where you're, I don't know, you just wouldn't do all the things you do for children for anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just the way it is. It's, you know, and it's a good feeling, you know, because you have someone depending on you with their life, you know, and that's a really big responsibility and huge opportunity to feel like you've done something big in someone's life, right? Just to help them live is a big deal. Which brings me to the next thing, is really realizing what my mom did for us and appreciate all that she's done for us. And yes, I've tried to tell her, but I don't think it's, you know, you just know. And just knowing that, I feel that toward my mother now. I don't hold it against my children when they're not appreciative, because I know one day they will, even though it really doesn't matter, you know. Yes, that's pretty much it.
All right. And you were also from the Czech Republic.
Yes.
You were there from while it was still under
Czechoslovakia.
While it was still
Yes.
Czechoslovakia, and then you immigrated here.
Yes.
What was it like to grow up in Czechoslovakia before during the Velvet Revolution? And
Yes. Like I mentioned, for me, revolution happened in '89, and I was pretty young to really notice any big difference. Like, I didn't know the politics, right? Let's just put it out there, I was 9 years old, so only the people with the math skills can figure out how old I am. And so if you're that skilled, you're okay to know. Okay, so I was 9 years old, and when you're 9, and I have a 9-year-old now, yeah, you're not able to grasp the actual what's happening, what's really changing. For me, it was really nothing other than we no longer had to call or address our teachers. Here you say Miss Smith or Mrs., you know, Miss and Mr. We did call our teachers comrade, teacher, whichever was a female and male version of that word, basically. And so really, when you say revolution, to me, that's what that means. Oh, we had to stop calling our teachers a certain way, and we switched to Miss and Mrs. Really, honestly, other than that, I just know it was a big deal, but I really did not understand exactly what happened. I was in fourth grade, and that was the year that you would start learning a different language, which was up to that point Russian only. So for me, I was the first class to be able to choose between English, German, and Russian. There was one boy who chose Russian, and nobody was surprised, honestly. Just a side note, but that was kind of the main difference that it meant to me, you know. But that was like living in Czech, and with the revolution and all, communist and all that. Yeah, that's really how that. It's kind of funny that I feel a little sad that I don't remember more of a bigger impact or anything. But that's really what that meant to me as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your girls, they grew up in a different society than you did. How do you think that impacts their life as opposed to yours? I guess just because they grew up here in a different time. How would that change them from had they grown up in Czech with you?
So I do have 4 girls. I am also one of 4 girls. And then my parents also adopted my brother. I have not grown up with my brother, my youngest sister, for like long, because there was like an 11-year age difference, 8 and 11. So I left when I was 17 or 18. So I remember more of a growing up with my 2 sisters, my older and my younger sister. Honestly, I think the difference between my growing up and my daughter's growing up, I don't think that made a bigger difference than just the time changing, you know? I really think that when I look at So I have a lot of family still living in Czech Republic, and I keep in touch with them. I talk to them, and it's really nice to be able to know. So technology is great for that. I don't see a huge difference as far as living in a different country. I don't think that made I think they would be pretty much the same. I would still worry about the same things, like the technology and all that stuff, whether it was here or there.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe the USA is ahead in a lot of things, or Czech Republic is behind, we could say that. With me and my husband, there is a 15-year difference. He's 15 years older. I find it kind of funny that me being 15 years younger, but living in a different country, I remember the same things, growing up with the same things, their family, like getting a microwave when he was 18, and I was 18 when my family got a microwave 15 years later. You know what I mean? That I find it kind of entertaining that even though we're 15 years apart age-wise, we have the same childhood memories of the same things happening, the same technology kind of improvements and all that stuff. But I think that my kids would not have a really much different childhood growing up here or Czech Republic, other than maybe different opportunities later in life. I do believe that school systems are different, school systems and that kind of stuff. I think there's more opportunities in the US, so I think for their future it would have impact for them. But as far as childhood, I think they would have pretty much same childhood here or there.
One final question. All of the experiences that you've had in your life, growing up in the Czech Republic, being a mother, how have all of those experiences shaped you as a person? How has that made your identity who you are?
Okay. As with everything, like whether you have whatever experiences you have in life, I believe that it really comes down to you choosing to what you look at, or if you choose to look at the good or the bad. I think that growing up in a different country, being a woman, having kids, all of that, I think just brought a lot of experiences with it. I think that there's always good or bad. So for example, growing up in a different country and now living here, I have a lot of friends, and so if I talk to my friends and they all have this one thing in common, they grew up here and they went to school, and the schools are different. The way the schools work in Czech and here is different, and so you just have like those, do you remember like lockers? And I'm just giving examples of things that like are different there. My peers here talk about their school or childhood memories. They're definitely different, especially if they're the same age as I am. So it's kind of hard to like be a part of that like conversation or have something like to connect. It's hard to connect in that way. I have different things that it brought, like I believe just having a connection with people from another country. It's like that I have that. I can connect with everybody I meet here that is from a different country. So I can look at it, I can connect with these people, but I can connect with a different group of people quick. Yeah. So there's really like, I can't just look at, that's so sad. I can also look, but I do have that, connection with all of those people that are coming from different country, and we have something immediate that we can talk about. I think it's really cool to be able to say I grew up in another country, and I think it's really neat to have that experience. Like it's kind of like two different lives that I've experienced,
Yeah.
And I'm just really grateful for that. But I don't think it really has a final effect on who you are, in the end. It really doesn't matter to me. I think that I grew up somewhere and it made me, I don't give it the biggest credit to who I am.
Yeah, that's actually really insightful. Thank you, Martina. So just thank you for coming out today.
Sure.
It was really fun
pleasure.
to interview, and have a great day.
You too.
I really appreciate Martina for her time today. It was really interesting to get to know her. Just learning about her culture, where she came from, what motherhood has done to her. It was fascinating to get to learn. While I didn't get to talk much to her, I was just sitting there and listening, getting to know everything about her, and I really appreciate that interaction. It changed my worldview in a sense to know that for the US, we are so far ahead of other countries that there are some places that even 15 years later are just getting the same technology that we have. It was really interesting conversation-wise, and I really appreciate the interaction. Thank you for viewing in. This has been Thoughts on a Hill. I hope you enjoy your day.